Going back to the calendar, I think that an important one is the budget mailing. Every association works on their budget. So let's pick an approval date. Let's see, the Civil Code says that we are going to, pick a color here, Mr. Shuey. The Civil Code says that we're going to mail out the budget not less than 30 days prior to the end of the fiscal year. So here's our fiscal year end, right? Okay. We have to mail the budget out not later than here. That's our budget mailing deadline. In order to mail the budget on that day, it better be approved, and it better be photocopied and stuffed in envelopes and postage put on the envelopes. I'm not sure I can get that done after this meeting. I better have that budget approved here. Let's get the budget approved in October so my management team has time enough to get the budget prepared so that it doesn't miss this mailing deadline right here. It'll probably get mailed out sometime in the mid-month because it doesn't take that long to process it. But I sure don't want to wait until here and only give my manager a few days. And, oh, these are Thanksgiving days. Take those off the calendar. My manager's not even working those days. I may not even have a meeting that day because that's too close to the holiday and we're going to all take off out of town a little early that day. So that meeting might get moved back to the 14th. You see how this is working? The calendar is a critical piece of information. If we're going to have the budget due on, mailed out the 30th, and then approved not later than the 31st of October, that means we have to do a meeting, so the meeting prior to the 31st is when I want to have it approved. And then there's the review process. How long does it take to review the budget? Well, how complex is your budget? If it's a simple thing and the manager helps throw your budget together for you and throw it at you and say, here it is, and you look at it and say, looks good to me, let's go, then 1 month might be fine. But in those associations where you have a committee, a finance committee, and they want to agonize over every single line item and make sure that it doesn't have a penny out of place, then we probably ought to back up a little bit. So I put down August 31st is when I think the review process ought to start sometime here. And if I'm going to start the process here, I have to approve the starting of the process or talk about it. So I've got some stuff to talk about in that meeting to make sure we get started on the budget sometime during this time frame so we have time enough to get it done because I'm going to have it approved here. I may want to have some interim discussions here so that I know that we're on track with how the budget's coming together.